First things first. We made so many numbers go to other numbers just now. Look at us go. We're so good at this. Man, you and me together for not forever. That's the way to do it right there. Making the numbers go to the other numbers. You know what? LSS made the numbers go to other numbers as well, because the most massive bombshell of a living legend point adjustment has been announced like 23 minutes ago. I got up and I came here because these numbers are not the same. And I will say this, I've talked a couple of times about the Flesh and Blood Living Legend point totals and how I think that is going to be changing down the road, and that point amounts and distribution are going to be changing, and lo and behold, they have changed, and they've changed a good bit. So let's talk about why. First of all, now that the conclusion of the Heavy Hitters season has arrived, we will be just adjusting distribution of Living Legend points as follows. And then we'll talk about those. Why are they doing this? Because they remain committed to their efforts to carefully manage the Living Legend point distribution to align with event density, hero release cadence, and format health. Those two factors are, in my opinion, the biggest thing. Event density and hero release cadence. I think those have been the thing that everyone points at. Like, for example, looking at KO, looking at Kasai, and in some cases looking at Victor. Their point totals in one singular season, the season that they released in even, are so much higher than just about anything we had seen, because they are just good. They're good heroes. They're not massive heroes, but they're good heroes. And people want to play them, and that is good. What's not good is that those heroes that you could attach yourself to as a new player are, are quickly being removed from the format because they are being heavily played, and in some cases, in KO's case, very good. So how do we adjust the point totals to reflect a more even gradation for point getting, while also being able to provide new heroes to the meta without having to just like flood the meta, or in this case, starve the meta because too many heroes gain too many points? I think they have hit incredibly well on this point system. Worlds was 300 points, which is massive, because if you're rotating heroes out weekly based on when they score the points, 300 points is like, you can blink out of existence, and there are several mini heroes. I should just have this pulled up. Let's see if I can pull this up really quick. Here, I've pulled it up. They've adjusted it on this page as well. This is the Living Legend leaderboard. Look, these heroes could blink out of existence in a weekend, and technically Katsu could too. Straight up, like winning the World Championship plus like a calling, he could exist at one weekend and then not the next, right? Because of the 300 points total system. That's now 100 points. Pro Tour, 200 points. That's now 100 points. Callings, 100 points they used to be. Now it's down to 50 points. More callings across the world. More points need to be spread out evenly. I love that change. US Nationals was about to come up. It was going to equate to the equivalent of a calling, and it was going to give out 100 points. Now it's only 50 points, very similar to a calling. Still equates to a calling, but they've knocked everything down. Now, there are more national championships that are going to be going around, depending on where they fall, either 40 or 20. Now it's a blanket 25. So even, a place that has a smaller national championship can still represent 25 points. I think that's fine. Honestly, I didn't really like okay, how many people are at this event? Yep, it's going to be 20 points. Just play the game, see the world, and in this case, play the game in your own country, see the world, and score points based on this, not by how large the event is. 25 points for Battle Hardens as well. Those are increasing in regularity, and therefore a smoother gradation, a smaller point total across the board, but not by much. Not by much is the point. And then finally, this one's interesting. ProQuest Plus events are the old Sunday PTIs that would happen in conjunction with a Battle Hardened. Those are not worth 20 points. They are worth 5 points, and so are ProQuests, and so are Road to Nationals, and so are Skirmishes. This right here, well, you can't highlight it very well. This column right here is so much cleaner. It's so much clearer. And it feels like with the amount of events that are going up and that are filling up the world, and with the onboarding of another country in another region, I should say, in Japan, and possible future regions in like Brazil and South America that are going to be getting more and more stuff, I hope. With all of that being said, these previous point totals, and this is what I talked about in previous videos, feel really high for the amount of, well, I don't think I ever really put it as succinctly as this, but they feel high for the amount of events that we have. And what it's leading to is this effect where KO does really well and Kasai does really well, and they gain that many points out of the gate in that singular season. And by smoothing these point totals out, we now get these shifts and the focus on event density kind of mattering, and then hero release cadence mattering as well. And I think the format health thing they touch on, I don't necessarily think the format is unhealthy, and I don't think it has been unhealthy this season, but what I really think is that you can have a sustained healthy format in this scenario where these heroes stick around without them stagnating as well. And so we're finding that balance point of too many points and the meta shifts too regularly, and it's not healthy. Even though the heroes might be on par, it's not healthy because you can't feel like you can go into an event and play a hero you've prepped, because it's going to turn over very quickly for the long term, right? Now you have the capacity to, with these points, to maybe play that hero a little bit longer. Even if it's like the best hero in the format, you can play it for a little bit longer because the point totals aren't going to go up as quickly. And you can feel like you're entering a healthy meta, or you're playing a healthy game because you're not immediately rotating, right? That is huge to me. With a brand new focus on bringing the best in competitive Flesh and Blood events to gaming conventions throughout the world, which is down here, you can't click on it, but we will be offering dramatically increased number of ProQuest Plus events through the remainder of this year, which is that PTI that's posted up here. The action kicks off this weekend at Modena Play, where 2 ProQuest Plus events will be on offer. Now, I haven't actually clicked this. What does this take you to? If I just open this, what does this take you to? Oh, cool. You can just sign up. Well, look at that. Ooh, that's cool. So you can register and play at 2 ProQuest Plus events. Is Modena Play like a convention? Like over... I bet you it is. Like if I search this, it straight up is. It's a game festival. And this is something that they've talked about. They're going to be pushing their way into, like at game or conventions throughout the world this year. And one that I have my eye on is coming up later this year, and I might be trying to go to it in August. I might be trying to go to it because if there's Flesh and Blood there, it might be worth going to. Nevertheless, many more such opportunities to earn PTIs and battle against the best in the world will be occurring in the coming months. And we will be able to check that right here, but we got to click on this after that. And then all other point adjustments are reflective of a shift in philosophy regarding how many points should be allocated. Points are being shifted to our seasonal offerings with large numbers of events and away from premier events where a single timely sigil of solace could be determinative of a hero's fate on the Living Legend leaderboard. I think this is better overall. Giving more points here, even just a few, like just 1 point extra for these Road to Nationals. Like that's huge because there's tons of Road to Nationals. And then taking less points for Pro Tour wins means that you're smoothing out the pathways and you're not just getting these big jumps like that, which I think is great. Because like, for example, let's say Azalea wins a decent number of ProQuests, wins a decent number of Road to Nationals, gets a fair bit of points, and then just spikes the World Championship for 300 points, just writes herself off. Like, that's a reality that we live in, that we could have lived in. But this change is huge. I think this is hugely positive. I tell me what you think in a comment below. Am I way too on this? I think this is the adjustment that I would have really liked them to do, and they did it. This adjustment should see heroes with prolonged and sustained metagame dominance achieve Living Legend status more reliably and add a bit more predictability to the system, but I also think it means that good heroes can stay around the right amount of time and not too quickly or not too long. This is a slight decrease from total number of Living Legend points, which is interesting because it actually looks like with these it would be a slight increase, but remember, we've already been through ProQuest and Road to Nationals season. But as always, these are going to be subject to revision, and they could change them as well, which they did. Here's what happens if you click the ProQuest Plus thing. Can we like see some other interesting ProQuest Pluses that we didn't know about? I mean, they're going to have stuff in Las Vegas, at Star City Games, over in EU. I mean, like, this is an interesting thing. I didn't know this existed. I mean, I know it's just the event search. Oh, it's just under the ProQuest Plus tab. The event search thing. Sweden, Poland, Singapore, Greece. I mean, no wonder they needed to change the points. Like, these are all things that are happening within the summer months. Is there anything showing in... Nope, not yet. Very interesting. Or in September. Either way, that's all in the summer months, and these are big changes in my opinion. So let me know what you think about this in a comment below. I think this is hugely good. I think this is a very good change, and I was very happy to be scrolling for a moment and see this change come across. So again, let me know what you think about it in the comment below. I could be conflating it to huge degrees, but with new heroes coming around the corner in new Enigma and Zen, they can benefit from this system. So sound off in the comments, and if you enjoy talking about Flesh and Blood, make the number go up and support us on Patreon. How exciting would that be if we can get the patron numbers to new heights as well? As always, thanks for watching.